Imagine a world where wealth isn't a matter of luck, inheritance, or ruthless competition, but a science, a precise, universal law that governs abundance just as gravity governs motion. Wallace D. Wattles, in his timeless masterpiece The Science of Getting Rich, claims exactly that. According to him, getting rich isn't a mystery reserved for a chosen few. It's a method, a science, that anyone can learn and apply. Today, we'll journey through all 17 chapters of this transformative book, uncovering the exact principles that have inspired millions, from Napoleon Hill to Rhonda Burns the Secret. By the end, you won't just understand wealth, you'll understand how to create it. Chapter 1. The Right to be Rich. Wallace D. Wattles opens with a provocative truth. Poverty is not a virtue. Life, he argues, was never meant to be lived in scarcity. To live fully, in body, mind, and soul, one must have the means to express and expand. Wealth, therefore, is not merely about luxury or greed. It's about freedom and fulfillment. Without sufficient money, one cannot access the tools, education, environment, and opportunities required for self-development. He asserts that the desire for riches is natural and divine, not immoral. Every living thing seeks to grow and expand, and humans are no different. The seed pushes towards sunlight, the bird seeks new heights, and the human spirit aspires to greater expression. This urge to advance is the very essence of life itself. Denying your desire to grow richer is equivalent to denying life's universal law of expansion. Wattles also points out that life is composed of three essential aspects: the body, mind, and soul, and each must be developed harmoniously. Physical well-being requires food, shelter, and comfort. The mind demands knowledge, stimulation, and creativity. The soul seeks love, beauty, and generosity. None of these can thrive in poverty. Therefore, being rich is not an act of selfishness. It is an act of alignment with life's fundamental principle: to grow, give, and live fully. He concludes by affirming that every person has the right to be rich, not for indulgence, but to fulfill their divine purpose, to live abundantly, and to help others do the same. Chapter 2. There is a science of getting rich. In this chapter, Wattles makes his boldest claim. Getting rich is a science, an exact process governed by universal laws, just like mathematics or physics. Anyone who applies these principles in a precise, consistent manner will attract wealth, regardless of their background or environment. He emphasizes that riches are not the result of luck, talent, or privilege. Two people may work in the same field with equal effort, yet one becomes rich while the other remains poor. The difference, Wattles says, lies not in opportunity or ability, but in doing things in a certain way, a methodical alignment of thought, faith, and action with the laws of abundance. Wattles dismisses the belief that wealth is controlled by a select few. Instead, he presents a democratic view of the universe. Anyone can prosper if they think and act according to these laws. By aligning with the creative forces of nature, rather than competing with others, you step into the flow of wealth. He closes the chapter with a promise that echoes throughout the book. Once you understand and apply the science of getting rich, your success becomes as certain as the sunrise. Chapter 3. Is opportunity monopolized? Here, Wattles confronts a common fear, the idea that opportunity is monopolized by the rich and powerful. He assures readers that the universe is abundant and limitless. No one is poor because others have taken all the wealth. There's more than enough for everyone. He introduces one of his most influential ideas, the formless substance. This is the original creative energy from which all things are made. Everything that exists began as a thought in this substance, and this intelligent energy continues to respond to human thought today. When you think creatively and in harmony with this substance, it reshapes reality according to your vision. Wattles urges readers to reject the mindset of competition and adopt that of creation. Competing assumes limitation, but creation recognizes infinity. Those who understand this truth can generate new wealth without taking from anyone else. The universe, he says, is a friendly and generous system. The only limits are those we impose on ourselves through doubt, fear, or envy. By believing in abundance and acting in alignment with it, opportunity flows freely toward you. Chapter 4. The first principle in the science of getting rich. At the heart of Wattles' philosophy is the power of thought. Everything in existence began as a thought in the mind of the formless substance. The universe itself is a manifestation of divine intelligence expressing an idea. Therefore, human beings, made in the image of that intelligence, possess the same creative ability. Wattles teaches that what you think about, you bring about. When you hold a clear mental picture of what you desire, your thought impresses itself upon the formless substance, setting in motion a creative process that brings your desire into form. However, this process requires faith. You must think truth, not appearances. Appearances of lack, failure, or limitation are illusions, temporary forms that conceal abundance. To think according to appearances is to think falsely. To think truthfully is to recognize the ever-present reality of abundance. He outlines 3 steps. 1. Recognize that there is a thinking substance from which all things are made. 2. Understand that thought in this substance creates what is imagined. 3. Hold your desire with unshakable faith and gratitude. By mastering this principle, Wattles says, you begin to consciously create your reality. Chapter 5. Increasing Life. In this chapter, Wattles reveals the moral foundation of his philosophy. Every action should promote life and growth for yourself and others. The universe, he explains, is constantly expanding. Everything that lives seeks to live more fully. The desire for riches is simply life seeking to express itself in greater measure through you. He emphasizes that this desire is not sinful. It is divine. God, or the creative intelligence of the universe, wants to express more life in every individual. When you strive to become rich, you are cooperating with this universal purpose. However, Wattles warns against selfish ambition. The right way to get rich is not by competing or taking from others, but by creating and adding value. When your success uplifts others and contributes to the world's progress, you align perfectly with the creative flow of the universe. He concludes with a vital truth. You can never advance yourself by diminishing another. True riches come only through creation, never competition. Chapter 6. How riches come to you. Wattles explains that riches come through creative channels, not through manipulation or chance. You attract wealth by providing more in use value than what you take in cash value. For example, if you sell a product that improves people's lives far beyond its price, you create wealth for yourself and others. He reveals that you don't have to chase or force opportunities. The universe arranges circumstances and people to bring your desires to you, as long as your thoughts, actions, and gratitude remain aligned with faith. He warns against fear and doubt, as they break your connection with the creative power. Fear belongs to those who live in competition. Faith belongs to creators. By trusting in the process and focusing on service, wealth naturally flows to you. Chapter 7. Gratitude. Gratitude, according to Wattles, is the magnetic force that connects you with the creative energy of the universe. The more grateful you are, the more open you become to receiving abundance. Gratitude transforms your focus from what's missing to what's possible. He compares gratitude to tuning a radio to the correct frequency. When your mind vibrates with thankfulness, it harmonizes with the frequency of abundance. This connection allows the universe to send you more of what you appreciate. Ingratitude, on the other hand, blocks your creative power. When you complain, you reinforce lack and push away prosperity. Wattles encourages readers to be grateful not only for current blessings, but also for the riches that are yet unseen. Thanking in advance is an act of faith, a declaration that what you desire already exists and is coming your way. Chapter 8. Thinking in a Certain Way. In this powerful chapter, Wattles explains that clarity and focus are essential for manifesting wealth. You must know exactly what you want and form a clear, detailed mental image of it. Vague desires produce vague results. He instructs readers to hold this mental picture constantly, to live in it mentally as though it were already real. When you think and feel from the reality of your desire, you become one with it, and the universe moves to make it tangible. Wattles also warns that thinking about poverty or lack reinforces those conditions. Your attention must remain on abundance. The universe does not respond to need, it responds to belief. To think in a certain way means to think from faith, gratitude, and unwavering confidence. Your thoughts must be steady, your vision clear, and your emotions aligned with certainty. When thought, faith, and feeling combine, creation becomes inevitable. Chapter 9. How to Use the Will. In this chapter, Wattles reveals the correct use of the will, a concept often misunderstood. Many believe willpower is about forcing outcomes or controlling others, but Wattles insists the only proper use of the will is self-control. You must use your will to keep your mind fixed on the truth and your vision, especially when appearances suggest failure or delay. He teaches that the will should not be used to compel circumstances, manipulate events, or dominate people. The universe already works in harmony with your thoughts. Your job is to align your mind, not to interfere with its process. The moment you attempt to use force or fear to achieve results, you step out of harmony with the creative power. When negative appearances threaten your faith, when money runs low or obstacles arise, you must hold your mind steady in gratitude and certainty. This is the real exercise of power. The will acts as a spiritual anchor, keeping you focused on your goal while ignoring distractions, fears, or doubts. He also warns against studying poverty or misfortune, as focusing on these only strengthens their influence in your life. The correct use of will is to direct attention toward wealth, abundance, and growth, and to maintain this focus unwaveringly until your thought becomes reality. Chapter 10. Further Use of the Will. Wattles expands upon the principle of will by emphasizing mental calmness and emotional balance. True creation, he says, happens in peace, not in panic. Many people act with haste and anxiety, thinking they can force success. But this hurried energy comes from doubt, not faith, and it repels rather than attracts. To use the will effectively, you must cultivate a quiet certainty that the universe is already working for you. Your role is not to hurry results, but to act with precision and trust. Do all that you can today to the best of your ability, and leave the results to unfold naturally. Wattles likens this to planting a seed. Once the seed is in the ground, you cannot make it sprout by pulling at it every day. You simply water it, tend it, and know that it will grow. Likewise, the will must be used to maintain faith and composure, especially when results are not yet visible. He reminds readers that impatience is a form of unbelief. The advancing person acts steadily, efficiently, and with purpose, knowing that all necessary circumstances are being arranged by unseen forces. As you master this calm and confident state of mind, the universe synchronizes events to bring you exactly what you need at the right time. Chapter 11. Acting in a Certain Way. Having discussed the power of thought and will, Wattles now focuses on action, the bridge between thought and reality. Without action, no creation can manifest in the physical world. Yet he makes an important distinction. Action must be purposeful, efficient, and inspired by faith. Every day brings opportunities to act. Don't wait for some perfect moment or better environment. The right time to begin is always now. You must act where you are, with what you have, and do each task to the best of your ability. The universe rewards motion, not hesitation. Wattles insists that action taken with doubt or fear will fail to yield results. On the other hand, when you act with confidence, believing that each effort moves you closer to your goal, you align yourself with the creative power. Every small step taken in faith builds momentum toward your vision. He cautions readers not to confuse frantic busyness with true action. The goal is not to do more things, but to do every single thing in the right way. When your thought, will, and action operate in harmony, your life becomes a continuous stream of creative power. Chapter 12. Efficient Action. Wattles expands the concept of right action by introducing the idea of efficiency. Efficient action is the secret to multiplying results without exhaustion or chaos. It means doing every task calmly, confidently, and completely. Efficiency comes from focus, putting your full attention on one thing at a time and performing it with excellence. He warns against overwork and hurry, which drain creative energy. Many people think that to get ahead, they must rush or take on more than they can handle. But haste arises from fear, a belief that opportunities will slip away. True efficiency, however, comes from faith. When you know that the universe is abundant and responsive, you work serenely, with full trust that each action brings success closer. Wattles encourages readers to give every task, no matter how small, a sense of greatness. When you perform work with love and intention, it carries the vibration of abundance. Even a most ordinary action, when done in this spirit, becomes sacred and powerful. He concludes that success depends not on doing countless things, but on doing each thing well, in its proper time, without anxiety or hesitation. Chapter 13. Getting into the right business. Here, Wattles addresses a practical concern: how to choose the right field of work. He asserts that no profession is inherently better than another. Riches can come from any line of work, provided it allows you to create and serve others. What matters most is not what you do, but how you do it. He recommends selecting work that allows you to express your talents and to provide genuine value. The best business or profession is the one that offers opportunities for personal growth and the advancement of others. If you're in a job that feels limiting, begin by doing your current work in a certain way, efficiently, creatively, and with faith, while preparing yourself to transition into something more aligned with your purpose. He emphasizes that you should not abandon your current work recklessly. Transformation begins in thought and action long before it appears externally. By working with gratitude and excellence where you are, you invite greater opportunities into your life. Ultimately, the right business is not found through chance. It's created through mindset. When you think and act with purpose, the right conditions and partnerships naturally appear. Chapter 14. The Impression of Increase. Wattles introduces one of his most profound concepts: the impression of increase. Every person you meet should feel that they gain something positive from interacting with you. When others sense that your presence enhances their life, they are instinctively drawn to you. He explains that the universe is always expanding, and when you become a person who radiates progress, you align yourself with its creative current. This principle has immense practical power, whether you're an employer, employee, or business owner. People naturally gravitate toward those who embody advancement, optimism, and abundance. To give the impression of increase, you must truly desire the growth and success of others. Insincerity can't be faked. The genuine wish to uplift others creates a magnetic aura. Every handshake, conversation, or exchange should leave others feeling inspired and more capable. Wattles concludes that living with this attitude transforms your relationships and your reputation. As you help others feel the joy of expansion, the universe ensures your own growth in return. Chapter 15. The Advancing Man. The advancing man, Wattles explains, is one who is always moving forward, mentally, spiritually, and materially. He is never stagnant, never bound by fear, and never trapped in regret. His thoughts, speech, and actions all point toward progress. The advancing person becomes a beacon of inspiration to others. Because he lives in faith and gratitude, people trust and follow him. His success benefits everyone around him, and his presence elevates every environment he enters. Wattles insists that to become an advancing person, one must eliminate all thoughts of stagnation, competition, or decline. The advancing man thinks, feels, and acts only in terms of growth. He speaks life and increase into every situation, expecting the best outcome in all things. Such a person, he says, becomes a center of creative force, attracting opportunities and resources effortlessly. The advancing man is not just rich in money. He is rich in character, energy, and influence. Chapter 16. Some cautions and concluding observations. As Wattles approaches the end of his teaching, he warns against several pitfalls that can disrupt the process of creation. The first is impatience, the tendency to become anxious when results seem slow. Creation takes time, and impatience demonstrates doubt, which disconnects you from the flow of abundance. The second caution is against negative influence. Avoid people, books, or media that focus on scarcity or ridicule the idea of abundance. Faith must be protected like a flame in the wind. Surround yourself with positivity and shield your mind from doubt. The third warning is against competition. Even after you succeed, never fall into rivalry or comparison. Competition belongs to the old world of fear and limitation. Creation belongs to the new world of growth and collaboration. By staying creative, you expand your wealth and the wealth of others simultaneously. Finally, Wattles reminds readers that gratitude and faith are your daily anchors. Hold fast to your vision, take efficient action, and let the universe handle the rest. The process always works. It is law. Chapter 17. Summary of the Science of Getting Rich. In his final chapter, Wattles distills the entire philosophy into its essence. 1. There is a thinking substance from which all things are made. 2. A thought held in this substance creates the thing imagined. 3. To bring your desire into form. Hold it clearly in thought with unwavering faith and gratitude. 4. Act every day in a certain way, calmly, efficiently, and purposefully. He reiterates that this process is as reliable as gravity. The universe responds unfailingly to thought held in faith and acted upon with confidence. Every person who follows these principles with persistence will inevitably become rich, not by taking from others, but by contributing to the advancement of all. Wattles closes with a timeless message. The science of getting rich is about far more than money. It is about becoming a conscious co-creator with the universe, living in harmony with the laws of abundance, and fulfilling your divine potential. True riches, he reminds us, lie in expansion of life, love, and purpose. Wattles' science of getting rich is not about chasing money. It's about aligning with the universal law of creation. It's about faith over fear, creation over competition, gratitude over greed. This century-old book continues to inspire because its message transcends time. You have the right, the power, and the duty to become rich, not for selfishness, but to live life to its fullest and help others do the same.